So if you want to, you can go ahead and put me backstage until you do your.
Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. We are also part of Snowman Multimedia Sports, the Game Winners Sports Network, and Mancini Media. Welcome in, guys. Happy Thursday to you. This will be the final Thursday in March. Wow, the year's gone by quick. We'll be in April. Before you know it, speaking of that, on April 20th, we will have Jeff Barnes on doing some NFL draft analysis for us before the draft. That'll be a fun show. In case you guys have not heard the announcement, this show and Gerald's show will be combined on draft night as we react to the NFL draft round one. So I don't think any of us can survive past the first round being up. You can ask Adam and Lou about that. I think a couple of years ago, we were all falling asleep by the end of round one. So we will be round one, and that is done. But welcome in, guys. The show is sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com. It is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you, adding comfort to your life. And, guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. We are also sponsored by Garrett's Carrots. Illuminate your inner self, shatter the trendy norm, and open up your world to a newfound level of confidence and admiration. Garrett's Carrots, designer jewelry and luxury accessories at garrettscarrots.com. We also have a new sponsor, funwags.com. That's funwags.com, fun-wags.com. This is a pet treat company that was created in 2021 and brought to its fruition in 2022. Now, it's not just for dogs, guys. It is for cats, rabbits, rodents as well. This is a special low-calorie vegetable treat for all pets, even ones that are on a special diet. How this company all became what it was is one of the mascots of the company was sick after eating treats at a fair in downtown Dunedin. That was Zoe, Roxy, and then Odin is the rabbit as well. But anyway, guys, she got sick. My friend decided, well, it was time to make her own pet treats. So she came up with a treat that only has 3 to 5 items. And by the way, guys, she bakes and cooks it herself. She does this all by herself, and her fiance or husband is the one who helps package and mails this all stuff out. You can go to funwags.com. They also go out to they go out to shows, they go out to yard sales, stuff like that, where they're out there, and you can go ahead and you can order online if you're interested in that as well. The ingredients listed are 3 to 5 that you can pronounce, and Funwags was made with love and care for all our fur babies because that's right, guys, they deserve it. Real quick, guys, before I bring on my co-host, I want to take some gratitude, or not gratitude, excuse me. I want to take some moments for the 6 people that were killed in Nashville, Tennessee on Monday, the innocent children and the teachers that were killed in that school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. I just want to tell you what an awesome city that is. I was there last year. That city is an awesome city, and I'm not trying to tell that any of the other cities that school shootings that happened in are not great either, but I got to experience Nashville for myself. So I wanted to send out my prayers to everyone that was affected by that, their families of the children and the teachers that were killed on Monday. The Nashville Police Department, or combined police department, were able to take care of the suspect at there. So it's that way. So give a gratitude to the department for reacting as fast as they did. I have watched the body cam footage. They reacted very quickly. So that was very nice. But again, I wanted to kind of give a thoughts and prayers to the families of the people that were affected in Nashville on Monday. But guys, let me bring on my three great co-hosts. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing this evening?
Okay.
Good awesome.
Snuck out of Facebook jail, Eric.
Not yet.
No.
He's got 55 more minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were on Facebook for so long that night that during that draft, I think I lost consciousness. I think.
Hey, I'm a VIP in there. I got my own cell, okay?
Hey, I was in there for like 90 days, so you ain't got shit on me, dude. I was in there for like 90 days. So,
I was
just
in
to
there
let
for a
you
week.
know. So,
I've done
I've
a
been
couple
in
of
there
stints in the Facebook jail.
So I was there twice.
I've been
for a
in
week.
there. I've been in there so many times. They gave me my own cell with my own key.
just lock it back up,
Oh,
Gerald,
yeah.
when you leave. Lock the
Yeah,
cell back
definitely.
when you leave.
Yeah.
Well, they don't even
back
give you a
when you leave.
jumpsuit anymore. You just keep your clothes. Like, we'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Right.
Just hang the inmate uniform and we'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure you hang on to the key because there's no spare key.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, I just made one though. I just made a spare key, Gerald, in your honor.
Oh man.
Well,
If you get locked out, you're there till morning.
Correct.
I get paroled in 55 minutes, so I'll be okay.
Good. Good.
I brought him on before I did all my sponsors. I'm like, what are you in Facebook jail for? And then I had to laugh when he told me what he had done, and I'm like, oh well, not all Eagles fans. Not all Eagles fans. I know two that are great people, but
I do too.
Yeah.
Me too.
yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them that are not.
That is a short list.
I
Yes.
called an Eagles fan a dumbass.
Dumbass.
Just because you sitting and saying, "Oh, we're gonna get Zeke Elliott. We're gonna get Zeke Elliott." I'm like, listen, dumbass. We don't know where he's going to go until he goes.
Yeah.
I would say just take him. You know what I mean?
Wait,
That's
If
what
you
I
want
would
him, you can have him.
take him. Yeah,
Right?
take him.
he's yours.
But that's what makes me mad. These fans say, "Oh, we're gonna get so and so. We're gonna get this person. We're gonna get that person." We don't know.
No, you don't.
No, the Jets are still hoping they get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
So
I
there
know.
you go. They're
Hurry
still
up
waiting
already.
for that deal to go through. So
Hey, I'm hoping and wishing we get another quarterback. But
Yeah.
and I keep hearing a rumor that Lamar Jackson's going to be a Patriot. So
Yeah, I've heard that.
For sure.
so
Yeah,
that's
right.
the rumor.
But I guarantee you this right now: Lamar would not be a starter with the Patriots because they have Mac Jones.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't-
Lamar over Jones all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
There's no.
Lamar
I-
Jackson would be a starter automatically. Mac would be the backup.
Yeah, or moved. I think I'd
Or
move
moved.
Mac and keep Zappy.
Yeah,
I do it 3 times on Sunday, actually.
send Mac to Baltimore.
There you go.
Well, it's a
I'd
Raven.
move Mac. I'd move Mac for picks and build, so I can build around Lamar.
Yep.
Right. Yes.
I want picks. I want a first and a second, maybe 2 seconds and a third.
CBS Sports was saying that Lamar could end up with the Colts, but hey, the Colts got Minshew.
Yeah.
Lamar's so much better than. There's only about 5 or 6 quarterbacks that are clearly
Minshew
better
sucks.
than.
Than Lamar.
Minshew's okay, but he's not better than Minshew's okay, but he's not a long-term answer kind of guy.
But with the Eagles letting Minshew go, that's really gonna mess them up because let's knock on wood. God forbids anything happens to Jalen Hurst, they don't have a proven backup.
Man,
Very
So
true.
what,
yeah, I mean,
so what is the Eagles gonna do without a proven backup now?
Well,
yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question about credentials.
Okay.
Okay.
If you were declined a season pass and you were given the opportunity to go to single games, would you take them or would you just say the hell with it and give up?
Well, how many season games are they offering?
Depends on how many I would request.
So they allow you to cherry pick?
Basically, if it's
I
not
cherry pick the hell. I go see like all the when Boston's in town.
well, see
Well,
that's
I would too.
that's
I
the
would-
thing.
I would take-
That's
I
the
would take-
thing. I'm not guaranteed the big teams. So any teams like Boston, New York, LA, anybody like that, I'm not guaranteed those. Where
You
I
know
would
what?
guarantee to get like Kansas
But-
City.
You got to get your foot in the. You know, this is where.
Well, that's what that's what I've been thinking.
As a devil,
that's
you know,
yeah.
if you'll allow me to play devil's advocate here, you know,
Sure.
maybe you only go to, you know, look, you get to go to a baseball game for free, right? You know, so you don't get to, you know, you got to see Baltimore and Kansas City and
Hey,
Minnesota,
Baltimore did pretty well today against Boston. You can't do
right?
that.
But so you get to go to a baseball
I'll get
game
my
for free.
Rangers.
You get to meet with these people. You get to spread our message to the wider world. You get to pimp the show. You get to pimp the network. You know what? It's not a bad deal. I mean, and then next year you re-up for full season credentials, and you know, I mean, it can't hurt to. I mean, like, you know, I would understand if you were 2 hours away. You know, and it was going to be a journey to get. You know, it was going to be a journey to get there and back, and just saying screw the whole thing.
Right.
But you know, being 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, and you know, there only being like 5 or 12 people there anyway. You know, they need
Not
another
today,
another body, another body in the broadcast or in the media center, and help fill the stadium out. You know, I would at least seriously think about it. Seriously think about it. Give it
That's
some,
why
give it
I
the
wanted
weekend.
I kind of got into it with Gerald. Kind of got into it with Ralph earlier today about that, and he said, you know, after again, I think sometimes in the mood. I mean, I wasn't in a bad mood. I was out walking, doing exercise.
Mhm.
Been walking miles about 5 days out of the 7 each week. The past couple weeks,
There you go. Good
trying to
exercise.
lose some weight and get my blood pressure down. But after thinking rationally, I told him that I would probably end up just giving him a list of games that I wanted to go to, and whether I get them or not, at least, you know,
Right.
I do that. I
So
didn't.
what's the next?
I knew that I wasn't going to give him to the Frozen Four because of the scout issue. I know there's going to be a bunch of scouts. That's okay though. I'm going to go to a cigar bar on the 8th.
There you go.
But
Very good.
anyway, I wanted to ask you guys that question. I wanted to lay it on you guys ahead earlier today. And if Ralph is watching the show, I mean, he knows what I'm referring to. But I wanted to ask that question about how you guys felt about that. And
Honestly, I think it's
Yeah.
a great opportunity for us to be able to pimp the show. You
Yeah.
know, get out there, meet with these people. You can, you know, you'd be like, hey, you find out what they're writing about, and just sit there and listen. Just sit there and absorb what they're saying, how they ask questions, or how they write up their notes. You know, and just be a sponge. You know, just ask 1,000 questions till they tell you to shut up. Just ask as many questions, no matter how inane, how vacuous, how stupid you might feel they are. And just, you know, and find out how, you know, these guys that have been doing it, whether this is their first year or 30th year, you know, find out how they go about their business and what they recommend, so that, you know, that you can be a better writer, not just for baseball, but for all sports.
Right.
You know, you write about you write about college football. You write about NFL. You write about golf. You know, and part of building the brand is being out there and being seen. You know, and so having the opportunity to meet with people who can, you know, help us build the brand. You know, we can say, hey, check out the Walker Report, you know, on Thursday nights in the Facebook group and the YouTube on Friday, and you know,
Working
and
on
just
business cards, by the way, too, guys. Just to let you know,
what's that?
I'm working on business cards, by the way, too.
There you go. And you'll get a T-shirt. You know, get a T-shirt made up for the show. so that a one-off T-shirt that you can wear and be like, hey, this is the Walker Report. It's on Thursdays. And hey, take the background that you have now, that you run now, and put it on a T-shirt and wear it.
You just lost Gerald.
Did he get sent back to Facebook jail?
Did he get sent back to Facebook jail? He's got
I
40
don't know.
He
more
broke
minutes.
parole.
He broke parole. See, we'll see.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys' opinion
absolutely.
about that. Like I said, I knew I wasn't going to get him for the Frozen Four because it's college hockey, but I did. I don't know who this is. But I'm not sure what
Or
that.
team up with a popular Facebook group. If we could, we're always flipping the shows in the Facebook group. So, and like I was saying, I think that's the it's an opportunity to grow and to learn, and never turn down an opportunity, man. You never know. You go to one game, and one game turns into 2, turns into 5, turns into a full season.
Yeah.
And you get to learn from the best. These guys that have been doing it for, however long they've been doing it, whether it be, whether this is their second season or their 30th season, it's never a bad idea to get, and you get more comfortable in the press box. You get more,
I don't know who this is.
We can't see who you are, so you'll have to
Or at least
Say your
Tell us
name.
who your name is.
yeah, tell us who you are.
I've worked with us before. Okay.
Uh,
The only people that I'm aware of that I've worked with before is Kevin. I doubt that Kevin's on here right now.
right.
So, I
yeah,
don't know. He might be. I don't know. For all I know, I don't know.
That's my thoughts on it. I think it's a huge opportunity. It's a way to grow the brand. It's a way to to branch out and get some.
Should I, bud? Oh, okay. Now I know who that is. Okay. Let me ask you this question, bud. Should I keep it to like 40 games, maybe, or 20 games, 30 games?
Yeah.
How much should I request? If you want to know who this is, Crew Life, guys, is a Buccaneer group, by the way.
Okay.
I used to write USF articles for them.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, and actually I met another podcaster who I did the Bulls podcast with, and now Larry Frank, who I still talk to on occasion. He moved back to North Carolina, but we used to do the USF Bulls podcast once a week.
I know he is.
Yeah, so I mean, should I just say 20 teams to start? To say,
I would say,
go through the calendar?
if you want, if you want to rev it, you ask for a pony, right?
Right.
So ask for 40, and see if they'll give you 20. And then you can, then you get, if you say, hey, I want these 40 games, go through the schedule, pick the 40 games you want, and then you be like, okay, and then submit it to Ralph, and then have Ralph submit it to the Rays, and then let the Rays media group decide which games they're going to give you, and maybe they give you 1, maybe they give you 5, maybe they give you all 40. Who knows? It all depends on how they feel about which games you've asked for. And then you get, but the first step to success is getting a foot in the door. And once you get your foot in the door and you establish yourself.
Well, the thing with teaming up with the Facebook group, I know they run, but Rob, the guy's name is Rob. You guys have Rays people too? I don't know if he's watching. I don't know if they have Rays people too. So I don't know, but yeah, I'll have to sit down tomorrow, and look through the calendar and pick the 40 games that I would like to go to, and then submit them to Ralph, and he'll have to submit them to the Rays. And then, like you said, I may only get 5. I may get 15. I only may get 10. So I'll go ahead. Yeah. I'll go ahead.
Any number in between 1 and 40. So,
Correct. I mean, then they could say 0. They could
say
no games. So,
and then you just keep plugging away. You keep writing, and then next month, and at the first of May, resubmit, and then and if they say no, then resubmit in June. If they say no in June, resubmit in July, and just keep making them tell you no. Make them tell you no.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Well, okay, cool. Then I will definitely sit down and take a look at the schedule for the season. Guys, I have a little bit of everything tonight. We can. I know NASCAR. They are in. Where are they racing this week? Darlington, Richmond. That's what it was.
Okay.
Richmond. Okay. Any thoughts on who might win? Who the favorite is?
Oh, what did I see the favorite was earlier? I like Denny Hamlin. I like Hamlin.
Okay.
I like Carl Larson. Speaking of Hendrick Motorsports, did you see they got their penalty rescinded?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
They
they got
did?
all the points back. Yes, they got all the points back.
Good.
And the only thing that the points were returned, the owner's points were returned. The fines and the suspensions remained, so they got all their points back. So that
Well,
was
I was gonna say, guys, there was a NBCSports.com article I read, and the title of the article is "Do NASCAR Series drivers deserve more respect?" Meaning, what we had, I think we had a conversation about this a couple weeks ago about how there are many people out there that view NASCAR drivers as non-athletes because they feel, and I know all four of us disagree with that, but they feel that racing a car at 200 miles an hour, anybody can do it. And we all know that's not true. We know not true. I mean, I'll be experiencing my first NASCAR race in a month, and in May.
Yeah,
I'll be coming up with Adam. But I mean, it will be, again, I have never thought in my mind that a NASCAR driver was not an athlete. First of all, you're in a car for 3-4 hours in heat. You're going at 200 miles an hour, and at any split second, a car can turn and you're dead. Dead. I mean, dead. And, so, yeah, I don't, that I wanted to bring that article up because I know we had talked about
right.
that.
I think that a lot of people, it's easy to write off now. It's really easy to write off all motorsports as just because I think the thing about it is you can look at a football player and go wow, you can look at a baseball player and go wow. You can look at a golfer, a real scratch golfer and be like wow, or a world class bowler and be like wow. But everybody drives. Everybody has a car. Everybody drives. Everybody knows how to drive, and I think that it's easy for people to be like, oh, I could do that. You just put your foot on the gas and turn left. I think that's the mentality that people have. Is that, well, if they can do it, hillbillies from the deep south going around in circles, and the idea that NASCAR is just a bunch of rednecks with no brains, and then the only way they can make money is to go fast and turn left. And right. I think the hillbilly hick mentality that that NASCAR has bred over the last 50 years, the good old boys racing around a track for 3 or 4 hours every Sunday, it leads to this idea that anybody can do it. And we know that that's not true. That the four of us, we all agree that that's not true. But it's easy to have that, man. It's easy to get that understanding, or that perception. That perception is reality. And the fact of the matter is that if anybody could do it, then anybody would. And in a given weekend, there's only 5 to 10 drivers that have a legitimate shot at a win, right? And that to me signifies that there, the difference between the average car driver and a race car driver is the fact that the average driver could go, you could make a lap at 200 miles an hour, right? You go down into turn 1 it's the gestational fortitude to be able to go down into turn one, and we NASCAR races on such a diverse style of track,
including it, who by
and that-
fire
and not every week is 200 miles. Like last week they were at Coda, right? It's a road course, turning right and left, and the ability to go down into a corner, get on the brake, get it wound up, get it slowed down enough, but not too much. It's slowed down enough where you can make the corner, but not so much that you lose momentum. The fearlessness that you have to be able to take a car 210 miles an hour, get it slowed down to 140, and then get it round back up to 100, 160, 70 miles an hour off the corner at a place like Michigan or California. Or in Atlanta, where Atlanta has become this 1.5 mile super speedway, where at Daytona and Talladega you have room to be too wide, whereas Atlanta you're lucky to have room to be too wide. Or Charlotte, where me and Brad are going to be going this spring or early summer, Memorial Day weekend, I should say. The fearlessness you have to be able to go down into turn one and put the brake on and have the brake work every lap for 600 miles. Every time you push the brake pedal down, knowing that brake pedal is going to be there. And if it's not there, the next 30 seconds of your life are going to suck like hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, it will.
Well, that's like I said. I have honestly myself. Because, again, I'm not the biggest NASCAR fan, but I do have respect for the gentlemen and the ladies that drive cars. And I don't care if it's NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, Truck Series, whatever, motorsports in general. They have my respect in all reality because, again, just like Adam just said, you can look at a scratch golfer, a guy that bowls 300s like he's got, like the – hair on the back of his neck. It takes a special person to be able to get into a car, be able to brake and draft and do whatever else you need to do to win races year after year after year, win championships year after year after year. And with the not having to fear that you could die. And again, you could die at anything, playing anything. But what I'm saying is, you're on the track with other drivers that have the same mentality that you do. My dad's uncle would never race NASCAR. Now he would race. What is it? What's the one-on-one situation?
Oh, drag racing.
Drag racing. He'd have no problem drag racing, but put him on a track with other drivers, he'd shit himself. He'd be scared. So.
You can't have fear.
Yeah.
You can't. It's the assumed risk. And it kind of goes back into something that's been hot around the garage area the last couple of weeks, and something I wrote about in my article, which you can check out on ngsc.com. If you're so inclined. Shameless promotion. But the respect in the garage area. That your safety is in the hands of the other competitors, and that if they make a mistake, they're going to ruin your day and possibly your life. If you make a mistake, you can ruin your day or, your life. And, we thought, get into some of the other stuff, that happened over the weekend at Coda. Bubba Wallace made a mistake, and he's just so hard on himself, and you're talking about how he needs to be pulled out of the car. And it's like, you can't let that stuff, to be a great driver, you gotta compartmentalize. It goes back to what we were talking about in so many other sports, about Urban Meyer and his inability to compartmentalize winning and losing in the NFL. You have to be able to compartmentalize that and be able to go, that was a mistake. I made a mistake, and just get on your marks and keep going, lap after lap after lap after lap, and it's that much. I don't know if it's it's that much off. You can be that far off, and you're a half a lap down.
Mm-hmm.
You're 12th all day. You're off by that much, and you're 12th all day, and you just can't go anywhere. You're just stuck in 12th, 10 seconds off the lead, just riding around and waiting until it's over. And it's the most miserable, frustrating, disappointing. You can look at like a football game or a hockey game or a basketball game. Like you can play your guts out, right? You go give it 110%, and you can feel good about the job you did. You can feel good about the job you did. But when motorsports, if you're off, you can dig all day long. You can dig all day long, and there's nothing you can do about it. If everybody is that much better than you are, you can dig all day, and you just won't be able to catch up. You just you can give it 110%, and you're still a half a lap down all day long.
Sticking with NASCAR, who was Zane Smith after he won that race at Coda, he caught fire after the burnout.
Right.
Yeah, he said the back tire's on fire. That's pretty epic.
That's what you call burn it down.
I was gonna say, they said burn it down. I said burn it down, not burn it up.
Then we have a real problem. Burn up.
Both back tires had flames coming off of them.
On fire, literally on fire.
Yeah.
It was kind of epic. It was kind of epic. Not gonna lie. But
though.
filed under the laws of unintended consequences.
Okay. At least he did it after the race and not during the race.
Right?
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's
Come down pit road, if both your back tires are shooting flames out, telling the picture, hey, I need two rear tires. Your picture's standing
and a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
picture's standing there looking
I'll get the fire extinguisher right now.
Might want to start with that.
Let's start with the fire extinguisher first.
Yes, you're right.
There's another sport that we can talk about.
Oh,
or
yeah.
entertainment.
There's just this minor pay-per-view that happens to be this Saturday.
This one shit,
The minor pay-per-view, the least popular pay-per-view in WWE every year. So yeah.
Yeah.
You know the card?
Yeah.
I got it right here in my hand.
I'm going over to my buddy's house to watch Saturday night, but Sunday I got to watch my nephews and my niece, so I won't be able to go over to his house on Sunday, but I am going to go over Saturday night and watch.
Would y'all like to know what the card is for WrestleMania?
Go ahead, Gerald. Go ahead.
Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. That's for the undisputed WWE Championship.
That's Sunday night, though, right?
I don't know. They don't have.
Okay.
They just have the matches. Then we got Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. That's for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Hope Rhea wins that fight.
Flair versus Asuka. That's for the Raw Women's Championship.
I have a funny feeling Asuka's going to win that.
I'd be all right with that.
Match that I really want to watch because these two, I think, have a chance at doing it, and that's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos.
Universal Tag Team Championship. Yep.
I really think Sami and Kevin has a legit shot at beating the Usos.
And the bloodline starts to crumble at WrestleMania.
That would be sweet. Then we have Brock versus Omos.
That's going to be an interesting fight. That's going to be interesting to see Brock Lesnar, who looks also big against everybody else, but Omos makes him look so small. It's interesting to see those two in the ring together. Watching highlights and stuff about those two, yeah.
Then Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Seth better hope he wins that match. That's all I'm going to say about that. Seth better hope he wins.
Seth has turned into a goober, hasn't he?
The only thing Seth's got to watch out for is Logan Paul's right hand. Because y'all remember, he has that steel plate.
He's been knocked out with it twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if he connects with that right hand,
Good night.
Go to sleep.
then we got John Cena versus Austin Theory. That's for the U.S. Championship.
Right.
I see Theory winning that fight because I don't see John Cena coming back to full time.
Theory has the belt, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I see that being a disqualification match. I think Fury hits Cena with something dirty. I think he gets disqualified. Both guys save face. You know, you don't have to put one over the other, and you know, you don't have the champion jobbing to a star. You know, jobbing to a part timer, and you don't have Cena getting hurt. You know, his legacy being tarnished, losing to Theory. So I see it being probably some kind of disqualification.
Then after that, we got Becky, Lita, and Trish. Yeah, 2 Hall of Famers going up against Damage Control.
Bailey.
Now, wasn't there a rumor that Becky was going to flip on Lita and Trish, or was it?
That was rumors that Trish was going to flip on Becky and Lita.
Okay.
But you know that's still up in the air.
Yeah, that was all rumor mill.
Here's the match that's going to bring out the evil in both of these competitors, and that's Edge and Finn Balor.
Ooh. Edge asked him to bring the demon.
Yes.
Did you see that pyro?
And
Edge is like, you don't want to see what evil looks like. I am evil, and you need to bring the demons.
Night, Raw, when they were doing that promo, you could see when Finn was talking, you could see them flashing the demon.
Yeah, the demon. Yep. Yeah,
I never cared for Finn Balor.
He's got to bring the demon. But then again, what you worry about with Finn Balor is, will his crew come out and help him? Is the question.
But one thing though, we all know Edge can go to that twisted place whenever.
Oh yeah, Edge is my favorite wrestler, so I know he can go to that twisted place. Yeah.
You know, he wasn't the rated R superstar for nothing.
Correct.
Exactly. You know, you may come in thinking, "Oh, well, we'll get the calm, cool, nice Edge."
Yes.
Then 2 seconds later, he flips, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Until you piss him
off.
Yeah.
Should be a good one.
And now,
yep.
Then we got a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Ooh.
Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew.
Oof, McIntyre.
Okay.
Interesting.
Gunther has the belt right now, correct?
Yes.
He does.
Yeah, I've heard some stuff on the TikTok channels, the wrestling TikToks that I follow, that they're going to keep the belt. They're going to leave the belt on Gunther. It's too early for him to drop it.
It is. It really is. And then we have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
Ooh, it's a fatal 4-way.
No, it's the women's showcase match.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is it a 6-man tag team?
It's one.
Two.
Yeah, it's a 6-lady tag.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
It's better known as the women's showcase match.
You know, women's wrestling has come a long way since I started watching wrestling.
And from what I heard
days are
was
close.
the winner of this gets a shot at the winner of the women's tag team championships. Whoever wins out of these, whoever wins the women's showcase gets a shot at the women's tag championships.
Just Becky and Lita right now, right?
Yeah. And then we have Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders.
Is that a number 1 contender match too?
Yes.
Gerald? Okay.
That's known as the
Men's showcase
match. And the winner of that gets to face the winner of Kevin and Sammy and the Usos.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the match of all matches. I never thought I'd see this coming. But after what he did to his mother,
It's got to be Ray and Dominic.
after what Dominic did to his mother, Ray did
His
not
own
want
mother?
Yes, he told his mother to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's when Ray went off. When Ray went off on him too.
Dominic, without even saying a word, and just knocked his head off his shoulders.
Yep.
And he told Dominic, "You pushed me to do this. You pushed me.
Yep.
I didn't want to hit you.
To hit you. Yep.
But if you want to,
Yep.
but if you want to fight, I see you at WrestleMania."
Mm-hmm.
And
That's gonna happen, huh?
Dominic was kind of backing up in the corner, like, "Oh, what did I do?"
And I hope Ray 619s him multiple times and kicks his ass.
Well,
Yeah, he
I got a
deserves.
funny feeling that there's going to be some interference in that match from the Judgment Day.
See, that's what I'm worried about in the Edge match, Gerald, too. And and Rhea Ripley's match as well with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, because if it is interference, Rhea automatically gets disqualified.
True, and Charlotte would retain anyway. I got you. Yeah.
But now in Hell in a Cell, anything goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So they could have he could have Dominic and Damian Priest under the ring.
Oh, is that the Edge match? Is it a Hell in a Cell?
Yes, it's Hell in a Cell.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah,
I did not
Hell
know.
in a Cell.
Okay.
Way to bury the lead there, Gerald.
Huh?
It's a way to bury the lead there.
Yeah.
Now, how many of y'all actually watch NXT?
Oh, I don't even know when it's on or what channel it's on.
It comes on Tuesday nights on USA.
No, okay. I'm busy on Tuesday nights sleeping.
They got some great matches too, and Brad, if you want to, I have the Hall of Fame class inductees.
I know Stacy Keibler and Rey Mysterio were two of them. I don't know the rest of the class.
It was Andy. What's his last name? Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman's going in the Hall of Fame.
And the great Muta.
Okay, well deserved.
Andy Kaufman, wow. He's been dead for so many years, and he finally gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Now, like I said, I
Interesting.
do have the NBA Hall of Fame inductee class if y'all want to hear that later.
Okay. Vince is getting soft in his old age, isn't he?
Yeah.
Letting Andy Kaufman in the Hall.
See,
Now, Gerald, I saw a rumor today, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I heard Stephanie's coming back to the WWE. Is there a rumor going out around about that?
she is. There's a rumor going around that she's coming back, but she has not discussed what role she's going to take.
Okay. I saw that today, and I thought I would ask you about that because, yeah.
Don't know if she's going to come back as chief operating officer like she was before, or chief executive officer. We know she's coming back,
Gotcha.
but we just don't know in what capacity of role she's going to play.
I think it'll be good to have her back, nevertheless.
Triple H
I always want Stephanie.
is in charge of creative talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you this right now, he's doing an excellent job.
I agree.
Setting up great matches, bringing some great talent in.
He's brought a lot of people back, too, that everyone had, Braun Strowman was one of the guys that had been gone, and he came back, and we got Brock Lesnar to come back, and, there's a lot of
Cena to come back.
Cena to come back.
There's rumors that FTR may be coming back to WWE. This depends on what happens with the match between the Guns on AEW. If they lose the tag team championships to the Guns, they come back to WWE.
We got Bray Wyatt to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Bray Wyatt to come back. Yep.
So I think with them making Triple H ahead of creative talent and talent management, WWE is getting better.
I agree.
When Vince was in charge, it's like, oh man, WWE's on.
It went down. You can look at the stock. Look at the stock. Not that a lot of people
But now,
but it was going way down when he was in charge.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. 95% of wrestling is fake. It's
How do you
entertainment.
count that 5% that is?
5% it's not, because look, take for example, look what happened to Randy Orton with his injury. It was a fluke accident. Big E, when he jumped off the ring and broke his neck. Freak accident.
Obviously,
Cody
someone
Rhodes,
didn't pay attention to the
freak
script that
accident.
night.
No, that's the 5% that's real.
Yeah, obviously, someone didn't pay attention to the script.
Well, they can pay attention to the script, but it's still that slim margin that you can go out there and get hurt. Hey, you can walk outside your front door and twist your ankle.
Sure can.
Duh. I've done that.
Just like with these athletes may train. Just like football players and baseball players, they go through training, but training cannot get them ready for that one oops moment.
One bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could be coming off the rope with the frog splash and hit the wrong way and break your arm and break your hand.
Is there anyone? Does anyone still use the shooting star press as a final move? I remember Billy Kidman used to use that move. Does anyone use that today?
No, not really.
Dangerous finisher too. So
his son Billy. Now wait a minute. I'm thinking about Pittman. Never mind. Pittman Jr. He's an AEW.
Yeah, they've really eliminated a lot of those high-flying maneuvers because of the neck injuries.
The only one that really does any high-flying aerobatics is Ricochet.
Mm.
And they're trying to limit his in the air, because there was one match. It was him and I think it was him and Gunther. Both of them jumped up at the same time, and I mean you could hear that hit.
was that at the Royal Rumble or
Yes.
the Royal Rumble match? I watched that. They ran into each other.
Remember how hard it was?
Collided with each other in midair.
Yes.
In midair, they collided with each other. Yeah.
And that could have injured both of them. That could have injured one of them or both of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because Gunther was number 1 in the Rumble, and he lasted all the way. He lasted to the end. He was in the final 2, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't he in the final 2?
It came down
with Cody Rhodes?
Down to Cody.
And him. It was him and Cody.
Yeah.
Yep, in the final 2. So he lasted the whole match. Same thing to Rhea Ripley. She was number 1, and she won it all.
So
she won it all.
Sometimes you can win it. Sometimes you can win it from being number 1. Sometimes you can win it from being last.
Yeah, well, you were talking about Triple H and John Cena. I remember when Cena came back at the Royal Rumble at Madison Square Garden, and John was number 30, and Triple H was in the match, and his facial reaction when John's music, he's like, no, he's not back. He's like, you got to be shitting me. He's back.
Maybe they are.
Because, I mean, all the announcers are like, just look at Triple H's reaction. Michael Cole goes, just explain to what Triple H's reaction is right now. That's how much they don't want John Cena to be back.
Triple H was in the ring, and when Cena's music hit, he turned around. He was like,
Yeah. He's like, he's back. Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's this WrestleMania with these matches. It's going to shoot off the chart. This is gonna be one of the highest rating WrestleManias ever.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna be watching on Saturday, Joe. Fill me in on Sunday night because I'm not gonna be able to watch it on Sunday.
Now,
so if you can do the same thing I did for you, just text me who wins and whatever.
Now I'm gonna give you my predictions on what's gonna be a first day match and a second day match, if Brad don't mind.
Go right in.
Okay.
The Roman and Cody, I'm gonna say that's gonna be the first day main event.
Oh, I always thought that'd be night 2. Okay.
Now I'm thinking that's gonna be day one main event.
Okay.
Charlotte and Rhea, that's gonna be maybe a day two main event. Bianca and Asuka, that could possibly be day one.
Yeah, I think Gerald, they'll probably have one of those matches on day one of them on day two. They probably won't have both of them on one day. I don't think. Maybe I could be wrong though. They could.
I'm saying the SmackDown Championship, Women's Championship is gonna be day one. The Raw Championship is gonna be day two.
Okay.
The Sammy and Kevin versus the Uso, that's good. That's got to be a day one.
Right.
Well, if you have the Roman match against Cody and you have them against Kevin and Sammy, yeah, I could see that. Like, or you have Sammy and Kevin night one and Roman and Cody, and they lose, and then the SHIT hits the fan, and then they both go crazy on night two. I don't know. You could be right though.
Brock and Omos.
Probably night two.
Yeah, I was gonna say night two on that one.
Seth and Logan, probably night one.
Probably. I think that'll probably be the opening.
Yeah,
that could be the opening match.
John Cena and Austin Theory, night two.
That'll be a night two match.
Probably the open of night two.
Damage Control. That's got to be night one.
Huh?
Edge and Finn, night one.
Well, now see if they do that match. If you do the triple threat match for the with Damage Control, Lita, Becky, and Trish, then you're gonna have to put the other match, the women's, the showcase match on night two, or you put that match night one, and then night two they find out who they're gonna face. It'll go one way or the other. I think that they'll have the showcase match night one, and then night two they'll have Lynch and Lita and Trish and Damage Control. That's what I think will happen. I could be totally wrong, but I'm not the
Edge and Finn. That's got to be night one.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's no belts on the line. That's just a pride match.
Yeah, because that's a rivalry that's been brewing for months.
Correct.
Because Edge wants his revenge on Finn.
He wants his revenge on Damage Control in general.
Matt.
I mean,
And that's
Judgment
Control.
Day.
I mean, Judgment Day, my fault. Yeah.
The Intercontinental Championship match, I say leave that for night two.
Yeah.
Split these championship matches up. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. 6 championship matches. Have 3 on
I'd say
have 3 on
I'd say
night
3
one,
and 3. Yep.
Then 3 on night 2.
Yeah, I see 3 and 3. Yep, I agree with that.
Now, this women's showcase match, night 1.
Yeah. And you know what? I have a funny feeling that'll open up night 1 because they want to showcase their women's division, being that they have 6 teams in that match. That match will take a long time. So they want to get that match out of the way and then get the other matches. I'm just going by process. I could be totally wrong. I'll find out Saturday.
Night 2 would be the men's showcase match.
Yes, they can't have both of them on the same night. I agree with that. Yeah.
No,
If you do, you're nuts.
Because the showcase matches
Right,
are going to be the biggest time-consuming matches.
Right.
And then I would have after that match, after the men's showcase match,
Mm-hmm.
I would have the Ray and Dominic match.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because that's father versus son, and honestly, I think this is going to be Ray's last match.
Sure, I could see them putting that match before a headlining match, kind of like a Roman Cody or something like that. The match before that, because
But then again, when Ray was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he told everybody, "I'm not ready to retire." But then again, we don't know what the script's going to call for. No, because Ray is in his late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty old for wrestling.
and he's had surgeries before too. I saw his the show that they did about the wrestlers, and I saw his episode. So yeah, he's gone through multiple surgeries.
He's had his shoulder rebuilt, both knees done.
Yep.
He's had part of his neck fused together.
Yeah, he's not 100% by any means of the imagination.
No.
But I tell you one thing though, I don't care if he's 100% or not. I grew up watching Ray,
I did too.
and that's one little man that did not back down from a match.
I remember watching him, Gerald, in the WCW.
Before he started wearing that mask, he was part of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, it was him, Kidman, him and Billy Kidman, Perry Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the other guy that was in that group with them. Huh?
Raven.
There you go. Yep.
Wasn't he part of Latino Heat at one point?
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
That was before he put the mask on and became Rey Mysterio. Back
Correct.
then, when he was wrestling under his real name, which was Oscar Gutierrez.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, sure.
And then in 1991
Yes.
and 92 is when he became Rey Mysterio.
Wow. 30 years ago.
Yeah. So he's been
That making me feel old. Ugh.
he's been wrestling ever since he was probably in his late to mid 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And his uncle makes all his masks, by the way, too. It's a family operation. All those masks that he wears are made by his uncle. Hand stitched, made by his uncle. Yep.
So, if Ray does retire, I wouldn't hold it against him because look what he's done in his career. He's had a hell of a career.
True.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen him take on the likes of Great Khali, Big Show,
Now you're asking.
John Cena.
John Cena.
I mean, he didn't care how big they were. He's gonna get in there and he's gonna mix it up with them.
Yeah.
So all I got to say is, Dominic, you better have your bag lunch with you, buddy.
You better pack them work boots because it's gonna be
Because I'm gonna tell you what my dad used to tell me. You might be younger than me, but I can hit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I brought you into this world. I damn near can take you out.
That is correct.
So Dominic's going to have his hands full with Ray because Ray's not going to back down.
I hope he makes him eat that lunch. He packs it and he makes him eat it. I hope Ray beats his ass. That's what I hope happens.
I'm just hoping this ain't because we all know Ray's been a babyface for so long.
True.
And when he was with WCW, he was a heel.
Correct.
When he was with the Four Horsemen and Latino Heat, he was a heel.
Yep, that is correct.
So now I'm just hoping this ain't the play to make him turn heel again.
if it's anyone's heel turn, it sounds like it's a Dominic heel turn to me.
Dominic is the heel already.
Well, I'm just hoping Dominic doesn't turn heel and join up with Judgment Day. I mean, Ray.
That would be interesting for him to be fighting against them and all of a sudden join them. That would be weird, but hey, it could happen. It depends on how the schedules or how the script is written. Yeah.
But anything, I would like to see Ray come out, win this match, and tell the WWE universe, So long. It's been a hell of a ride.
Thank you and good night.
That could be exactly what he does. That could be exactly what he does.
Because I mean, he's been through hell. He's been beaten up, bruised, battered. He's like a damn Timex watch. He gets beat up, and he comes right back. Come on, dude. You have 2 knee operations, a shoulder surgery, and your neck fused together, and you still gonna come back out there.
It's because he loves what he does. That's why.
Yeah.
Me after one knee surgery, I'd be like, nope, I'm out. I got to step back for a while. Give me about 3 years off. I come back after that.
Yeah, that's because he loves what he does. That's why he keeps coming back.
A year after the surgery, that thing. Look what happened. One. I think it was Monday night Raw. I was sitting there watching it. All of a sudden, you hear Ray's music come on. I'm like, no, he can't be back a year after surgery. No way possible. And look who's walking out. Ray.
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a little Ray's back. But whenever you're ready for the NBA Hall of Fame class, Brad, just let me know.
I will. I'm going to go ahead and I want to discuss something real quick. There's this kind of sort of big golf tournament next week. This tournament right here. Kind of this big golf tournament.
National.
That will be the Masters. That's next Thursday.
Shows you how much I know about golf.
That's at Augusta National. It's at Augusta National. That's the name of the golf course that they're playing on. There are 13 live players in the field, and 5 of them have won green jackets. Can you tell me who those 5 are?
Tom Mickelson.
Mickelson is one of them. He's won it 3 times.
Arnold Palmer.
Palmer's not part of Live Tour.
Oh. Okay, Mickelson.
Mickelson's one of them.
Yeah.
Who is Tiger's rival? Supposed to be his biggest rival? Not Rory. Rory's not part of Live.
No. And Rory's never won a green jacket.
Nope, never won one either. Only major he's not won yet.
Jordan Spieth.
Spieth is not part of Live, and he's never won a green jacket either.
No.
I got one out of 5.
Sergio Garcia is one of them.
Okay.
Dustin Johnson is one of them.
Okay.
Patrick Reed is one of them.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
No, the only thing wasn't bad when Happy Gilmore was there.
Sorry, guys. I did not throw that one in.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
I need pieces of shit like you for
It's
breakfast.
Mickelson, Johnson, Garcia, Reed, and who is the other one that I had? Paul Barker. Yeah, that's right. The price is
I
wrong.
need pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Hey,
For
I remember in
breakfast?
that movie, Happy Gilmore, when they would clean out his grandma's house,
Yeah.
and he went outside with that golf ball, and he was betting those movers, and he hit that golf ball, hit that golf ball sailed, and hit that lady in the forehead.
Should have been standing there.
Yeah.
That lady should have been standing there.
And they all go, and he goes, oof, and they all run back into the house.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of who the other person was that is on. I just wrote the article too, and I can't remember who the other Live player is. Sergio, Phil, Dustin Johnson, Patrick Reed. Who's the other one that is on?
Google.
Not Brooks Koepka. He's never won a green jacket. Not Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, boy. And they said there's going to be no drama there. Believe me, if those two are going to be competing, there's going to be some drama. Trust me. Brooksy, pal, that's it. I'm going to slam him in the net with my phone.
You know what? I want to say, Lou. I think they both might be in the fields. I think
Come the fireworks.
together. I don't know.
Buried the hatchet and left the handle sticking out.
Correct.
Okay,
There'll be some drama with those two. Believe
here's the 6. They send it 6. That's LIV players who have won the Masters and will be returning every year are Sergio Garcia.
6. Who's the 6th guy? Did I forget somebody?
Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, I got named him.
Phil McNicholson.
Mickelson is 3. He's won 3 times.
Patrick Reed.
Captain America. Yep, named him.
Charles
Schwartzel. I forgot about him.
Charles
I
Schwartzel.
forgot about Schwartzel. That's the guy I forgot. Who was the other guy? Gerald, too?
Bubba Watson.
That's the guy I was thinking of. Bubba's won it twice.
I wasn't sure if Bubba was actually on LIV because Bubba was the one that I was thinking Tom Watson, but I knew that wasn't right. I was trying to come up with which Watson was. I didn't realize Bubba was over on the LIV tour now.
Yes. See, I forgot about Schwartzel. So my article that I wrote, I missed one.
Yeah.
Oh well, somebody will point it out.
Brooks Kapia.
Koepka.
Koepka.
Kapeka, that's the other one. And the
Yeah.
final one is
Koepka never won at Augusta.
Steve Ballaristo.
I've never heard that name before.
That's the lesser known one of all.
I was gonna say he's got to be. I know there's 13 players in the field. I forgot about Charles Schwartzel winning the Masters. I forgot that he had won the Masters.
So did I.
So one of those guys that you don't remember.
With me doing a sports show, Google's my best friend right now.
It always is. It's on anything.
Okay.
For anything, you can Google anything and find out what it is. But it's. I have an article that'll be going up next week about the Masters. And then
You still got time to edit it then.
Well, it's in the hands of Ralph now. I'll have to message him to add Charles Schwartzel to that name, the 6, because I forgot about him.
And
Winning the Masters.
guys,
Yeah.
come NASCAR All-Star race. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to try and write my first article.
Okay. Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I can tell you this right now. If you give it to Ralph will let you know if it sucks or not.
Yeah.
That's what he keeps telling me, that he keeps telling me the reason I didn't get credentials has nothing to do with my writing. And he'll tell you that my writing was very bad when I first got with the website and how much it's improved since. So
Because with NASCAR going back to North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race,
Right?
I've already got it figured out how I'm going to start it out. It's going to start out like this All-Star race, seeing the NASCAR go back to one of the ghost tracks, and that's North Wilkesboro. That's how it's going to start. Then
NASCAR's triumphant return to North Wilkesboro.
Yep.
Track back from the dead.
NASCAR returns to North Wilkesboro. Hopefully it works out for them during the All-Star. They can put it back on schedule.
We will have to wait and see. But a month from now.
Yeah.
And
Sure, if you-
Or 2 months, I'm sorry.
Dakota. I'm sitting here counting the days, baby.
if you want to give me the All-Star or the Hall of Famers for the NBA, go ahead and fire away.
Okay. First one is Dwayne Wade.
Miami Heat.
He deserved it.
Yep.
I agree.
Yes.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Uh-huh.
Dirk.
Paul Gasol.
Oh,
Gasol.
Paul Gasol.
Yeah. Tony Parker.
interesting.
Yep.
Becky Harmon, I guess she's from the WNBA.
She was an assistant coach with the Spurs too, under Popovich.
Yes.
And then Greg the Popovich got in.
Head coach. Pop.
Well, Pop.
Pop is like Bill Belichick at press conferences.
Yes.
Nick Saban. They have that arrogancy to them. They're like, oh, you want to ask me a question? I've already answered that question. Next question.
And
I've answered
We're on in Kansas City.
questions already. I'm not going to answer it.
Next question.
Next question.
Speaking of basketball, did y'all hear the news coming out of 40 acres,
Yes, we did.
which is down here near me? That's what they call. That's what they call Longhorn country, is the 40 acres.
Okay.
They have signed Rodney Terry to a 5-year contract.
Is that a developmental league in the NBA or?
Oh, that's the Texas
It's
Longhorns.
awesome. TNT.
Oh, okay. Their basketball coach. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the interim coach that took him to the Elite Eight. They signed him to a 5-year deal.
Yeah, 5 years, 40 mil, I think is what I saw.
Yeah, 5 years, 40 million, and they threw in some incentives in there too. I don't know what the incentives are. I have to go back and look. But hey, 5 years, 40 million. I take it.
$8 million a year.
And what's not to say next year Texas come back and be an elite, be in the Final Four.
That's the goal.
Because for an interim coach to come in and take a struggling team and get them to the Elite Eight, the first Elite Eight since 2008, that's not bad.
No.
The final. Well, tell me who the Final Four teams are. Miami, University of Miami, the Hurricanes,
UConn,
FAU, UConn, and who?
when Miami, University of UConn, I
The
think.
Canes, the Huskies. You have FAU. That's the Owls, and there's another team in there that we're forgetting.
Yeah, there is, but I just can't think right now.
Did any of the top seeds make it to?
Oh,
No, none of them did.
Let me look that up real quick, and I can tell you. Oh crap!
San Diego State is the other one.
San Diego State.
right.
That's
Okay.
right.
The Aztecs.
Yes.
The final two, I'm gonna put my money on Miami and UConn. And Miami's gonna take it off.
I hate to be a homer, but I'm taking FAU and Miami. All four to final.
No matter what, Miami's gonna win because they look too damn good against Texas.
The Canes.
Yeah.
Well, the U, as they call themselves,
The U.
will make a. They'll be back in football soon too. So that's the way the wheel spins in the state of Florida.
I thought Miami was suspended from playing football.
No, No.
Florida,
Well, they had a bad season last year. They really had a bad year last year. Cristobal's first year as head coach. Yeah, but they
got shelled.
got
Bad game.
bad. Yeah, they were. They was not good last year for Miami. I think the team that showed, that's moving in the right direction is FSU. I think Coach Norvell has that team going in the right direction. And that would be the UM fight
That
song.
was Texas.
that was weird.
Texas.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Final Four in college hockey,
Yes.
Michigan is one of the Final Four, as it has been decided. I don't have the college hockey logo up behind me, but I will throw the NCAA. Michigan is one of the Final Four. They will face Quinnipiac. That should be the better of the two final games. Nothing against Boston and Minnesota, but I think Quinnipiac and Michigan will be a better matchup. They're the 8:30 game, I think, on the 6th. The 5 o'clock drop of the puck is Boston and Minnesota. I would love to see I would love to see Boston and Quinnipiac in there, but
Obviously, including myself.
Minnesota and Michigan could be in there too. And Minnesota wants Michigan because Michigan beat them in the Big Ten. They want them bad. Michigan, Minnesota wants that
That's a rivalry.
opportunity to not only take them down, but take them down for the ultimate prize, which is the national championship. So, and then if you put Quinnipiac and Minnesota in there, those have been the top two teams all season against each other in the final. So we'll see. Hell, it could be Boston, Michigan for all I know too. So I'm taking Boston out of the equation. They haven't had a bad season either this year. So I could see them being in the final two. We'll find it. We'll see. I'm interested to see how it all but I can't watch the games because I don't have ESPN Plus. So if anybody has ESPN Plus, it's on ESPN Plus.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Brad.
Both games. Yes, sir.
I was going to let you know if you have to stay home and watch your nephew and niece.
Yes.
If you download Peacock, I'll be more than glad to let you use my information to watch night 2.
I could do that. That's very doable. I'll have my phone with me, so that's very doable.
No, I don't have no issues with that.
Okay, that's very doable.
Right.
I'll get with you, Gerald, on Saturday night. I'll let you know because, like I said, I'm going over to watch night 1 at my buddy's house, and then night 2 I was unable to do it. So yeah, I have no problem doing that. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Is it start the same time? 6 o'clock Saturday, 6 o'clock Sunday too. Is it a 3-hour pay-per-view both nights?
So. I think it's
Okay.
Starting early, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're trying to get. They're trying to get it. That way you don't have to stay up too late. I mean, I think that's why they split it into 2 nights. Because imagine if they hadn't. 6 to midnight. Imagine watching pay-per-view for 6 hours.
Because right before WrestleMania comes NXT Stand and Deliver.
And they do the Hall of Fame induction the night before, right? Friday night. I think they do the introduction. Okay.
It's going to be tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Right. Okay.
Tomorrow on Peacock.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No SmackDown tomorrow?
They're going to have SmackDown, but I think it's going to be following SmackDown.
Yeah, they'll want you to watch the SmackDown, then watch the Hall of Fame induction.
I can tell you here in a few minutes what time that WWE Hall of Fame is going to be coming on.
Hey, bud, Carolina and Detroit are tied at 2-2 in hockey.
Okay. At this point, it'd be better to lose. I hate rooting to lose. Sucks. I want to win. Damn it.
Good game here, though.
Okay.
Who's New York playing?
It will be the ceremony will take place on March 31st, 2023 at the Crypto.com Arena, Los Angeles. It will be live. It will be aired live at 10 p.m. Eastern. So 10
Yeah, it'll be
p.m.
after SmackDown. Then it'll be after SmackDown.
10
I hate that
p.m. up Cruz area, 9 p.m. down here in my area.
Okay.
And
And it will be on Peacock. Yeah,
Lou, who are the Rangers playing, Lou?
It
Devils.
will initially,
Oh, that's Jersey. Okay.
it will follow WWE SmackDown. So
Okay.
after SmackDown is going to come, the live viewing of the Hall of Fame ceremony.
my nephew is a big Devils fan, so he's interested just as I am. So
Was he the one, Lou, that was on a couple months ago?
Yes.
He came, okay, cool. Okay.
Yes.
Well, now wait a minute. How are you a Rangers fan and he's a Devils fan? How did that work out?
I've been a Ranger fan long before he even came into the picture.
Is it just a family thing where he's a Devils fan? Is people in your family that are Devils fans?
He got his dad.
Ah, okay.
My brother-in-law was a Devils fan, but I've been a Ranger fan, since like second grade. So
Yeah, that makes sense then.
when the Devils won the cup, when the Rangers won the cup, Gavin wasn't even gleaming in my sister's eye.
Y'all won't believe this when I tell y'all this, but the
I will.
Dallas Stars, okay, they were once the Austin Ice Bats.
Mhm.
Then they became the Cedar Park team. Then they moved from Cedar Park to Dallas and became the Dallas Stars. That's how.
Actually,
Minnesota and the North Stars moved to Dallas and became the Dallas
I think
Stars.
that was the AHL team. That was the San Antonio Stars.
Oh, okay.
Minnesota
Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars were the Minnesota North Stars when they moved to Dallas.
Yes.
In '93.
Somebody said they
93.
were
Yeah, 93, I think, is when the Stars moved to Dallas, from Minnesota to Dallas.
then people gave me the wrong information then.
I think
Yes,
that was the San Antonio Rampage. I think that's who that was.
right.
And then you had
AHL.
Minnesota get a team back, and now they're the Wild.
Yes.
And
There's-
guess what starts next month, guys? Any
Go ahead.
ideas?
USFL?
USFL.
The
Oh,
other
fun! The other spring football league. If one isn't enough,
yeah.
The other guys.
You
Yeah.
stupid freaking losers.
I still say they're going to convert. I still say they're going to merge the XFL in with the USFL eventually.
What would you call it though? The UXFL or the UL?
The ex-UFL.
ex-UFL.
How about this one? The Loser League.
The loser league.
Yeah, they can't say that. They can't say that officially.
We're not losers, guys. Come on, please. We actually play football. We're kind of good at it. Please.
You're not that good.
That seems a little wordy. We'll work on it.
Oh my God! Oh.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the
I lost
NHL,
Jared. What, a week
Boston-
left, right?
Boston going to set the record for most wins in a season.
They're gonna get damn close. I don't know if they'll get all the way there. They're damn close.
Yeah. I say it might be just short.
Well,
I
here's
think they'll win it all.
the question I have: if they win the President's Trophy, and we all know that that's like a curse when
Yeah.
you go to the playoffs, I don't know if that'll happen this year because Boston
Sure.
seems to be steamrolling everybody. And
Didn't Mitchell do a video on that?
I'm sure he did.
I'm
did.
not-
They did the
'Cause,
same thing. And they lost in the first round.
The Lightning lost in the first round of Columbus.
Right.
Right, last night. Anaheim in 02. 03, actually. Sorry.
You know, so it doesn't matter if you win the President's Trophy because that's nothing compared to winning the Cup. Most teams that do win the President's Trophy don't even come close to winning the Cup.
Well, it's a different mindset. Everybody
Yeah.
starts 0-0. You go to the playoffs. Everybody's back
And
to
you
the
don't-
goose egg in the win column and the loss column.
And
So-
you don't play anybody crappy.
No.
And that is correct also.
You're done playing Boston, Detroit, Chicago,
Yeah, you're done playing all the crappy teams.
Columbus, Arizona.
That's not even a team much. So,
The Coyotes that play in a college arena. Yeah, that team you're talking
Yeah.
about.
yeah. I thought it was a high school. I thought it was a high school gymnasium. To be honest. Oh.
Oh, don't do
Hello.
that. Don't.
I've seen some. Come on, I've seen
Oh,
nicer
man,
high school
you just-
gymnasiums.
Oh man.
Come on, that's not
Listen,
fair. I think
Arizona State University, right on the
that's
air.
not fair. That's not fair to high school gymnasiums.
You insulted Arizona State University. Oh my God! All the
I think
Sun
he insulted. I think that was a dig. That was a dig at high school gymnasiums.
Life went on thick or what?
Oh my goodness! So with 1 week left, I think there have been some teams that have clinched playoff spots. Correct?
Yeah, a handful of teams.
Yeah,
have
I
clinched.
Toronto clinched.
Toronto, Boston, New Jersey, New York,
Okay.
Tampa. So Tampa clinched. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
We did say Toronto, right?
Yes,
I
the
think-
Golden
I think-
Knights can earn
I
their
think
first
Vegas
berth. The Knights, I think, are going to be there as well.
The Kings.
I'm gonna look right now, Lou, at the standings. Obviously, the team on top is Boston. They have the most points of anybody.
Yuck.
Which I get asked that a lot of times because I'm a Red Sox fan and a Patriot fan. And you know what, Lou? I'll be honest with you. I can't stand the Bruins. I cannot stand the Boston Bruins. So that's just me. I hate that team with a passion.
How about the Celtics?
I don't watch too much NBA, so I can't go on that.
Was that team? Because that team plays most of all.
The teams that have clinched in the East are Carolina, New Jersey, the Rangers, the Bruins, and the Maple Leafs. The Lightning have not
Austin Matthews
yet. The two wildcard teams as of right now, again, this could change, still a week left in the season, are the Islanders and the Penguins. But the Florida Panthers are only 1 point behind Pittsburgh for the final playoff spot.
Okay. It's going to be a very interesting
And Buffalo and Ottawa and Washington are only 4 points or 5 points behind Pittsburgh. That's a lot of points to pick up in a week.
Buffalo has improved this year.
Yep. And in the West, there's been no clinching yet in the Western Conference yet. But in the Central, it's Minnesota, Dallas, Colorado. In the Pacific, it's Vegas, Los Angeles, and Edmonton. And if the playoffs started today, it would be the Kraken and the Jets as the wild card teams. But Calgary and Nashville, Calgary's only 2 points behind Winnipeg. Nashville's only 3 points behind Winnipeg for the final playoffs. So there you go.
Give the Kraken some credit, only their second year. I mean, of course, last year being their first year, naturally, they're supposed to suck. I mean, what do you expect from an expansion team? Much. I mean, it's not every
except the Knights.
Every expansion team was not going to be the Golden Knights. That was a rare exception because remember, they've had veteran players on other teams who've won cups, so they brought experience with them. Seattle, not so much. But who'd have thought that going from being, toilet paper from last year to maybe clinching with division title in just their second year? That you got to give them a lot of credit for that.
From toilet paper to ticker tape?
Yes.
That's correct. One of the coolest names in all of hockey, too, by the way. So, that's one of the coolest names in hockey. And they play in the oldest arena of any NHL team. Because that arena was built when the Seattle Supersonics were still playing
If only I can bring them back.
So, yeah. That would be cool. The NBA expanded and went back to Seattle. Brought them back.
Because they didn't do a bad job.
Getting moved.
They did not do a bad job. I mean, they were a winning team, and they made money. So it was just a bad call.
That's why they ended up because New Orleans moved to New Orleans, spent half a year in OKC, and OKC outdrew Seattle.
Correct.
And so when New Orleans was ready to go again, that's why Seattle lost the Supersonics to OKC.
Yeah. Well, New Orleans had a team first, and then moved to Utah and became the Utah Jazz. But New Orleans had a team before that.
Right.
Yes. Then again, that was back in the days when the NBA was, like trash.
But it was 06 or it was 05 when somebody played games. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I thought it was New Orleans played games in OKC. And that's when Seattle lost the team to OKC. Because Oklahoma City outdrew Seattle.
So
Well, speaking of that, guys, I heard a rumor. Speaking of Texas, the NHL wants to expand, and they're talking about putting a team in Houston.
Yeah. I'm talking about that for 20 years.
To compete with the Dallas Stars, in Houston, and have a they want to give a team to Atlanta again. I don't.
You failed twice already.
Yes, you have failed twice already. That is correct. You lost the Flames to Calgary, and you lost the Thrashers to Winnipeg, the Jets.
Yeah.
So you've lost. I could see them going back to Quebec, bringing the Nordiques back, or going to another city that doesn't have a hockey team. I don't get how Wisconsin doesn't have a team when Minnesota does, Michigan does, but Wisconsin doesn't. It's kind of weird. That's just my.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Because you got Detroit and Michigan, you got the Red Wings in Michigan, one of the original 6, and you got the Wild in Minnesota, but there's never been a hockey team, professional hockey team in Wisconsin. I'm curious why.
Yeah.
Columbus got a team.
Yeah.
That's Ohio.
No, yeah. Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, Columbus,
yeah,
Ohio.
the Blue Jackets. Yeah, the Blue Jackets.
That's right.
But that's
Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, or Minnesota, not Wisconsin.
Yeah. But of course, the Columbus Blues are worth mentioning. So
they're gonna win the lot. They're gonna win the lottery and get
without a doubt
Connor Bedard,
without a doubt.
the number 1 overall pick in the draft coming up this year.
Loser.
That's going to be. I mean,
I don't know if you can have that as a blessing or a curse.
I'd rather see him go play in Columbus than in Arizona. Just me saying that out loud. I would rather see him play as a Blue Jacket than as a Coyote, and that's just me. And I know I'm going to get hate for saying that, but it is what it is.
The Coyotes. Don't chase a Roadrunner for all I care.
The Coyotes.
Yeah.
Gary Bettman doesn't want to move them out of Arizona. He wants to keep the team there.
He was a jackass anyway.
I agree. He is
for 20 years.
How can this guy be commissioner for 30 years? I mean, he was destroy the league. How
ownership.
Because he's got dirt on the ownership. That's right. He's got pictures of the owners in compromising positions. That's all I can come up with.
I'll give him my ownership. Right where it hurts.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So I was talking to my bosses the other day, and I think the two that need to go are Gary Bettman and Rob Manfred. Both need to go. They
were separated first. The Ducks win. So,
I mean, they're not even in the same stratosphere as Goodell and Adam Silver. So
they're being dragged by the MLS, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Who's the commissioner of it? Isn't there a commissioner of Major League Soccer?
Yeah,
don't they have a commissioner?
I think his name was Gerber.
They're a professional league, so they have a
they have a commish, but I don't know his name.
Yeah.
But I mean, the NHL and the MLB are losing out to soccer of all sports in America.
Yeah, how about that?
Well, speaking of baseball, opening day was today.
Correct. We got shelled 4-0, so congratulations.
Well, Yankees won.
They won 5-0 over the Giants.
The Giants.
Gonna be a long 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, the Red Sox went down early and lost 10-9 to Baltimore. So there you go.
Yeah, my team makes me drink.
Wait, 10-9. I was 8-2.
Yeah, they came back, Lou, at the end of the game, and they had I think they had 10 walks today. That's what kills you. You're giving free bases away to people, and what's his name? Rutschman, their catcher. That kid is a stud in the making. He is a stud in the making. That kid's a great baseball player. He really is a great baseball player. But again, it's game one of 162. There's 161 games more to go. It's a long season. I think for both Boston and Detroit, I think it's going to be not so good seasons. I don't think either one of them are going to be even in the talks. I think the Yankees will be battling with the Rays for the division in the AL East. That's how I predict it to be. And I think Baltimore and Toronto will be vying for one or two of the wild card spots in the American League this year. I wouldn't be surprised because the Central Division is Cleveland's to lose. That's my opinion. It's the Guardians division to lose. There's really no one in that division other than maybe Minnesota that's going to give them any kind of run. You know what I mean? Because there's just no one. Everyone else in that division is the White Sox are horrible. Trying to think of who else is in that division with them. The Royals are down. Yeah.
So I think the Yankees win the East. I think that Cleveland wins the Central, Seattle wins the West, and the other three East teams make the wild card.
You don't think Houston will repeat? You think Seattle?
I forgot about Houston. No. I totally forgot about Houston.
I was going to say Houston will win the West. That's their division. I think it's New York, Cleveland, Houston, and I think the wild card teams are Tampa Bay, Baltimore, and Seattle. I think are the three wild card teams.
Yeah,
I think in the American League
or Toronto. I could see it coming. I could see it being. I totally forgot about Houston. Just totally spaced for in the Houston existed.
Defending champs.
And so I want to amend that. I think Boston or New York, Houston, and then Cleveland, and then Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore, or Toronto. I can very easily see all three of. I still could see all. I could still see the East sending 4 out of 7.
You see Toronto, Baltimore, and Tampa Bay all being a wild card.
Yeah, I can see that very easily.
Okay.
And Seattle getting squeezed out because they have to play. Obviously that the East will play and beat up on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so will the West. The West will play and beat up, and they'll play the Angels because Seattle plays the Angels, Houston, and the Angels because. Never mind.
It's Houston, Seattle, Anaheim, Texas. That's
right.
Right. And Texas is a young team. They are. They got some pieces, but they're still a young baseball team. Kansas City's still a young baseball team. They're not,
they're not ready.
Anything. Chicago doesn't know if they want to win or lose. I think U-Tree's CEO, their ownership said that they hope to be was that the team that said they were going to be a 500 team? Yeah. They want to be a 500 team. 81 wins. That's all they're looking to do. So, low expectations, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with that. And now the NL, the East, I think it's Atlanta. The Mets, what's his name? Verlander got hurt. He's on the IL. Yeah, that's the Mets.
Anyway.
And they let DeGrom
Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they let what's his name go to Texas?
DeGrom.
Yes, correct.
DeGrom.
Yeah, he's in Texas now. I think it's Atlanta's division to win. The Mets.
Yeah.
I don't count out Philadelphia though. I know they lost.
Yeah.
They lost their second baseman for the year. But Philadelphia is a good baseball team. Marlins, they're young. So I don't see that happening. And who's the fifth team in that division? Who am I forgetting? Marlins, Braves, Phillies. Oh, the Nationals.
Nationals.
No, yeah, they're forgettable.
They're forgettable too.
Yeah, they are.
The NL Central, you have, I think it's St. Louis's division to win.
Yep.
Cardinals,
Yep.
Brewers, I think will be the two that will go at each other.
Oh yeah.
The Cubs,
They need help.
and then the Pirates and the Reds, they're far away from being relevant for a long time.
Dumpster fire? Dumpster fire in a dumpster fire.
In Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then the NL West. You know what, guys? I think this is the year the Padres finally get that division championship.
Really?
I don't know. Because the Dodgers are gonna.
Yeah, I mean the Dodgers are still there, so
The Dodgers aren't gonna go fight.
I think it's just those two because I think the rest of the dark horse I think in all of baseball I think is in that division, and that's the Diamondbacks. Don't be surprised if they don't make some noise. They're not the Coyotes. Don't be surprised if they don't make some noise in baseball this year. But I think it's the Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks because the Giants are not.
No.
The Giants are not, and I forget
Really coming back. Mhm.
who was
Colorado.
Oh, and the Rockies, and that. Yeah, if you watch U-Tree's video, I don't think there's a bigger dumpster fire in baseball more than the Colorado Rockies right now.
Even with Trevor Story. Mm-hmm.
No, Trevor Story's a Red Sox.
And now he is, but he was with the.
He was
with the Rockies.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Very good.
they have who is the former player that was the big
Troy
guy's
Tulowitzki?
name now? No, not Tulowitzki. He played with the Cubs. He was one of the better players for the Chicago Cubs, and now he's in Colorado.
Cam Hayward?
I'll have to look it up now.
Is it Cam Hayward?
Not Cam Hayward. No, not Hayward. No. Turn it. Let's see here. He was on the team. Chris Bryant is the one I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brian. Sure.
He was on the World Series team, right? When they won the World Series in 2015. Was it 15? 16?
Yeah.
That they won the World Series? Yeah. So it was Chris Bryant. That's the player I'm thinking of. So it took the Cubs over 100 years to win one, so you know.
Yeah.
100 years too soon.
should have gone 2 centuries, 200 years.
At least. Well, I grew up, growing up in Michigan. My NL team was the Cardinals. I just liked Cardinals baseball.
Mhm.
So, and having that natural born rivalry with Chicago, Detroit, Chicago. I just hate the Cubs. I've always hated the Cubs. I hate the Cubs more than any other baseball team. Like, they're the only baseball team that I actively root against. Other than that, if I'm watching any other 2 baseball teams, like, Seattle and Texas, okay, I'm just rooting for good baseball. Let's hit some hits. Let's get some strikeouts. Let's have some fun. But if the Cubs are playing, no. Whoever. My 2 favorite teams are Detroit and whoever's beating Chicago.
Even the Yankees.
I don't hate the Yankees. I'm not a Yankee hater. I respect the Yankees. I respect the pageantry and the tradition and the history.
Thank
you. There's a lot. I have no. I don't hate any of the New York teams. I don't. They're all storied franchises. They all have had huge impacts on sports, and it's. I know it's easy to hate the Yankees. I know it's easy to hate the Giants. It's easy to hate the Cowboys. Boston. It's easy to hate the Bruins, and it's easy to hate the Patriots. But as a fan of winning and having my own teams, my home teams be kind of shitty for the last 30 years, outside of every now and again being good, especially over the last decade, having everybody be shitty. I gravitate towards just good teams. I like watching good teams win, and so, except for the Cubs.
I was pulling for Cleveland in the World Series, by the way, because I'm an American League guy. So I was pulling for the Indians because they weren't the Guardians yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pulling for the Indians.
The artist formerly known as the Indians.
Yep, correct.
Yes. So come Indians.
And Earl, did I see in your group earlier today that Terry's a Guardians fan?
No, she's a Rangers fan.
Oh, she's a Rangers fan. Okay. Betty's a Guardians fan because I think Betty's from Ohio.
Yes.
So she's a Guardians fan. Okay.
Guardians fan.
Yeah. No, I don't hate the Yankees. I just disapprove of them because they're my rival, and it's been that way for a long time. But yeah, I mean, I understand if you grew up a Cardinals fan, you automatically hate the Cubs because again, that's the rivalry with the Yankees and the Red Sox. You go around the league, Giants, Dodgers. I mean, that rivalry's been around they were in New York before they moved to LA. When they were in Brooklyn.
That was just the dinosaur era ended.
Yeah.
Let me expand upon that a little bit because that'll make a little more sense. Because the Cardinals were always on Saturday afternoon baseball. They were my fault because the Detroit was so. When I first got into baseball, Detroit was so bad they weren't getting Saturday afternoon games. So I got to watch a lot of Cardinals baseball, and I fell in love with the Cardinals, and so the Cardinals were my NL team. Detroit being my AL team, and St. Louis being my NL team because I got to see a lot of their baseball games. So I just grew up to hate the Cubs.
Yeah. If your team sucks, you don't get all the national telecasts.
And we didn't have cable at the time, so I wasn't, it wasn't like I could watch the Tigers during the week and then, on Saturdays watch the national game. So I just, if I wanted to watch baseball, I got one baseball game a week, and that was the Saturday game of the week on Fox. And that was usually St. Louis and somebody.
Yeah.
Well, too, and again, at the end of the day, we all know, too, no one hates a losing team. They hate a winning team. So they hate the Red Sox. They hate the Yankees. They hate the Giants. They hate the Cardinals. They hate the Cubs. They hate all of them. All the winning teams, all the winning franchises, they hate them because they win. No one hates a losing team. And if they do hate them, it's because they're starting to win.
Or they're just a natural-born rival,
Correct. Yeah, and you're right. Correct. Like you have Detroit had the Avalanche in the 90s. That was your hated rival because they didn't like each other, period.
But both teams were winning at the time,
Correct. Yes.
It was more like Detroit and Chicago because Chicago stunk in the early 2000s. The Blackhawks. The Blackhawks were terrible. We hated the Blackhawks not because they were good, but because they were all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we're supposed to hate the Panthers. Well, when they start winning consistently, we can hate them. But again, until we meet them in the postseason, as we did last year, it was nice to have a postseason matchup with them. See, with Detroit and Colorado, they saw each other in the playoffs. With the Rangers and the Devils, you saw them in the playoffs. You played against each other. Where the Panthers and the Lightning have only played one time against each other in the postseason. So until yes, that's our in-state rival. And we don't like each other. We don't like them coming here. They don't like us going down to Sunrise.
Right.
But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But yeah, when it comes to now, here's the question, guys. I have with rivalries. Do you think they're stronger in hockey over baseball, or where are they the strongest? Do you think it's stronger in the NFL and college football? Where do you think
college football? I think college football produces the best rivalries.
College football, okay.
Yeah, I think the reason why college football produces the best rivalries is because you only see each other once a year.
Very true.
And so for 365 days, I got bragging rights. I can talk mad shit to State, Penn State, Ohio State. I can talk mad shit to all three of the states for the next 365 days.
Mm-hmm.
I got bragging rights for the next 365 because we won't see each other for another
year.
365 days. And I think it breeds. I think college sports has the best rivalries because you have so many different sports that you play in. We play Ohio State in baseball and basketball and football and hockey and water polo, golf, tennis, soccer,
Hockey.
badminton. I mean, Pinewood Derby. If there's a Pinewood Derby team at UM and Ohio, we want to beat Ohio State's Pinewood Derby. The Boy Scouts of Ann Arbor want to beat the Boy Scouts of Columbus. It's just a building. It's a built-in. I'm wearing my Michigan socks tonight, so it is a building. It's a built-in rivalry in every sport. If let's say like we don't play Chicago, we only play Chicago in basketball and football. We don't play them in hockey. And we very often anymore.
Right.
And we don't play them, and we neither one of our teams are good at baseball. So, there's nothing more college sports, and because you see everybody in every sport, you play all of your big rivals in every sport. The universities have a rivalry across sport, and I think that makes college rivalries so special is that those rivalries don't change just because you change sport.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Because again, with how long I've been watching college football, I mean the great rivalries, obviously Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma. Here in my state, Florida State, obviously. Florida State, Miami is another one. That's a big rival. Notre Dame, USC is a big rival. You can go down the list. I mean, there's a bunch of them Florida, Georgia is another one. There are so many that I'm actually forgetting. Army, Navy. I mean, I don't think it gets much rivalry than those two academies, at each other. Would you throw Oklahoma State into that conversation? Or do you think that's
not really?
Okay.
I think the hard part is you have to be good too. You have to win the rivalry games.
Correct.
You have to beat your rival to make it a good rivalry. It was I think it was Barstool when Michigan played Ohio State last year, and they were on campus in Columbus, and they you don't hate each other, and there was just a solid chant of F Ohio from the Michigan faithful. I'll find the video and I'll send it to you, Brad. But I think it's on TikTok. They were talking about golf. You don't hate each other in golf, and there was just this huge chant of F Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a built-in rivalry, and it stems from the Toledo War. Michigan won, and Ohio had to keep Toledo. And that we don't the Lions hate the Packers, right? Lions, Packers, but you don't. It's not like the same. It's so different than college football, and I mean
the Bears too.
Right,
Packers Bears, I think, will be the bigger rival between
the Lions Bears. So
right. The four of them hate each other, right? We all hate each other except for when we but then we don't as Michigan fans, we root against Ohio State every week. We root against Michigan State every week. But Illinois, you guys are cool. You're all right? We don't hate the Illini. We're not out there going F Illinois, but it's so different when it comes to promo and hating the Bears. They hate the Bears. They don't hate Chicago. They hate the Bears.
Just so much as my brother.
Ann Arbor hates Columbus. right?
Oh, yeah.
It's visceral. It's guttural hate, like the way Tuscaloosa
Guttural.
hates Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way Athens hates the swamp, right?
It's Gainesville. Yep.
And I think in college sports, I think you associate your university, whatever sport your university happens to be playing against your biggest rival. It translates across sport, and winning those games. It doesn't matter if we're playing basketball, baseball. If it's a Pinewood Derby between a handful of frat bros. If it's euchre night at the beer hall, we want to beat those Ohio State kids.
Now wait,
True.
well, you can only do it if you're in the front row, though. Oh,
Hey,
you had to mention Euchre. You had to do it.
Well, with that, gentlemen, we will close it out. I'll leave the floor to you guys to do any show announcements or anything like that. Go right ahead.
as long as I don't have to speak.
All right. In sports show Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Number call is 512-543-4662. It's Bob Euchre night. So,
Hey, he's still calling games for the Brewers, so there you go.
yeah, I know. Just a bit outside. So,
Nobody watches this shit anyway.
no, sure. Okay. So anywho, we're gonna cover all of college, all the basketball's Final Four, the men's and the women's, the not important results of the not important tournament. I mean the not inviting tournament. I mean the NIT final, which is going on right now as we speak. Gotta get credit for that. Maybe I even covered the Division II tournament, which happened this past weekend, if I have time. We'll also look at the NBA Hall of Fame nominees because they've been just out last week. We'll cover the last of the NHL. I think it's actually about 1 or 2 weeks left now. I'm not so sure.
I think it's 1 week. I think we're down to the last week.
There's 1 week left. Yeah.
And Steve will be along to cover WrestleMania because he's become big into that. Oh boy, I'll never hear the end of that for sure. And of course we'll have the best and worst. We'll have the we'll have of course also the ridiculous eye of the week. I think I found one that just came out today. Well,
you can't just play this show for 2 hours on your show.
Yeah, so we'll cover that. Of course, we'll look at the monthly standings, our monthly schedule as well, and the feel good story of the week. And I also want to take everybody's Easter and Passover thoughts this week because I'm not going to do a show on the Saturday before Easter. I thought it'd be better if everybody just spend the time with their families and not have to worry about calling in and me doing a show because confidentially, I think doing it the day before Big Holiday is kind of weird. So, but this Saturday we are on. No fooling, even though it's April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day.
Now I just made fun of myself. Thank you very much. So, if you're a fool or not a fool, call in 512-543-4662, which translates to 555. No fooling. Oh no. Yeah. Right. Okay. On that note, good night.
Well, guys, thank you once again for everyone that joined us. I guess Crew Life, my former Buccaneer website. Thank you guys for still paying attention. Rob, I think, is the one that runs that group. But anyway, guys, yeah, I want to thank the sponsors, fun-wags.com, creatingsendspaces.com, garrettscarrots.com. Thank you again. Thank you to the 4 networks that hold us every week. We appreciate it very much. I did hear some grumbling between one of them and my former network, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that off the air.
Anyway, I want to thank the men and women of our armed forces and our first responders. I forgot to do that last week, so thank you guys again for doing what you do. There's a golf tournament, guys, also that I forgot to talk about in the show. If you go back and watch the show last week, you'll have all the information on how to join the tournament. Is actually this upcoming Monday.
Put that in the description.
And I forgot last week to wish Lou a happy birthday. It was his birthday last weekend.
Happy birthday, Lou.
Forgot to mention that. So, yes.
I was trying to tell you, Gerald, that I was trying to tell you a few weeks ago. That was dope.
How does it feel to be 40?
I wish I was still only 40. No,
And here I thought he was only 29.
I wish I was 20 again.
I'll be the big 4-0 this year. So there you go.
Yeah, but I was looking forward to turning 40 anyway because the night I did turn 40, or just a few minutes before that night, I actually wanted to go throw up. I didn't succeed, but I won.
Hey, Brad, I saved you some room on the couch. I saved you some room on the couch at the further end for his 40-year-old people.
Cool. Well, we will be back, guys, next week at the same lot time from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thank these three guys for joining me every week. We'll see you guys then. I am the Sports Star Bradley Walker. Everyone have a good Thursday. Have a great end to March and happy April. Easter's next weekend. Until then, guys, peace.
And watch out.
Great Sunday.
And